chop all these siege tanks now. Those drones really desperately trying to run for their lives. There's Wednesday Night Starcraft. Alright, hello everyone. This is Crota, just getting things all set up and getting everything ready to go. Let's figure out where is my friend. Okay, a little bit of issues so far, but let's go ahead and just get into the game. It is going to be vVv versus SeoHyeon here on Antigua Shipyard. This is going to be on MLG Antigua Shipyard. It is forced cross spawns, so very, very important. Forced cross spawns here on Antigua Shipyard. It is going to be a Zerg versus a Terran, and this will be showcasing the new Terran player from vVv Gaming. Over here in the red, you see SeoHyeon spawning as the red Terran player at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, vSuppy spawning as the blue Zerg here at the 9 o'clock position. This, once again, Zerg versus Terran, a little bit disheveled, trying to take care of all the camera work. As vSuppy opening up with the extractor trick as this game does get underway. And we'll see how his style differs against Sleep. Sleep's style, perhaps their style has started to overlap, and now vSuppy once again scouting in a direction not normal here, as it is cross spawns here on Antigua Shipyard. SeoHyeon gonna wall off with that barracks, and we'll see if he does go gasless, as a gasless opening does normally open up with a faster expansion, or he could try to go for reactor SeoHyeon. Alright, I'm gonna be picking up a co-caster here in Gwen. He is commonly known as Gwen. My good friend Garrett, I believe he's the caster normally for xSix, but unfortunately he's not in the game. So he's not going to be able to really do any of the play-by-plays, perhaps just watching the stream and figuring out what's going on.
I am in fact watching the stream there, Crota. Thank you for the intro, though I guess it is a little bit delayed. I am, yes, you were correct. I am the caster for xSix Gaming. I also cast for Collegiate Star League and CSN. And this is actually so exciting. We just got to watch Sleep 4-0 vVv. And now we get some show matches. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, definitely excited. As we see vSuppy opening up with an early hatchery and then going into a spawning pool. He is going to be getting his gas a little bit delayed. And I got to know, how often does vSuppy and Sleep practice each other? It really feels like their builds are very similar.
You know, I think that, I mean, this is kind of the hatch first into the pool and then the 17 gas is kind of a standard, like a staple of this matchup. And it's a really just kind of overall safe way to open up against Terran. So I wouldn't say that, you know, their builds are the same yet. I mean, if we see vSuppy go for the same mid-game compositions, then we can start to draw those parallels. But I don't actually think that Sleep has gotten a lot of chance to practice with the North American players. He is actually coming to the U.S. very soon, and as soon as he is here, that will he will be practicing with them all the time. But until then, not so much.
Alright, so we'll see how effective he is at defending against this reactor SeoHyeon opening that the Terran player is opening up with. We are going to see a command center also come in as well, so pretty much a standard play. There is going to be the benefit of the ramp at the natural expansion for vSuppy. And that's really one of the difficult things for a Terran trying to use reactor SeoHyeons, say similar to Shakura's Plateau, as opposed to Tall Dream Altar, where the SeoHyeons can see a little bit further and know if they're running into a trap. This might be a little bit too late. A little bit of lag or a little bit of miscontrol can spell certain doom for SeoHyeons when you really want to keep them alive and make sure to just keep map control for as long as you can.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Hellions, you know, are definitely still useful, though, to have that map control, keep the creep spread from getting too far out of control. One thing that I'm curious if we'll see vSuppy too, I know he favors this style a lot, is he likes to use macro hatches to actually control space at his front, to kind of block off pathways. I don't see that going down. He usually puts one down at about the 6-minute mark, so we're not quite there yet. We'll have to see. The Tech Lab, though, follow up from our Terran player, and we'll have to see if he goes into it. Marauders on the way.
And now we see the SeoHyeons trying to make their way in, but a nice block with the Queen. The drones may be able to perhaps get 1 kill, 2 at the most, as the drones now come off the mineral line. The drones are not lining up all too well. The SeoHyeon could perhaps get 1 more kill. No more kills, as really heavy losses for the Terran, suiciding those SeoHyeons and not really getting that much damage.
Yep. You know, he only moved out with 2 Hellions there, and I mean, most of the time we see Terran players go out with the 4 Hellions. There's that macro hatch going down. I know I'm a little bit behind, guys. You already saw that, but there is the macro hatch at the front to control that space, and also just to give additional production. This is a style that Suppy really, really likes. Has played a lot. Might see the double Ling upgrades coming out for him as well. Although he has kind of swapped it up recently and gone for mutas and instead focused more on just a single Evo chamber for the upgrades.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage he's going to do with these 4 Hellions. There is that Spine Crawler, a second one now on the way on the front door. That macro hatch is going to make it very difficult for any Hellions to try to drive up there. And now the Hellions do clean up one free creep tumor as the Queen and now on the ramp, almost baiting those Hellions as the Spine Crawlers would be in positions to get off a couple free impales. And Suppy doing a good job of just spreading creep tumors still while while there are Hellions on the front door. Now, back in the base of the Terran, you can see that more barracks are being added over here. Curious positioning on that barracks as we are now going into Hellions, Medivacs, and Marines. And this entire attack force is going to be very vulnerable to say a lot of Banelings, which I don't see a Banelings nest as of yet. Suppy looks like he is transitioning, getting a Banelings nest, and we may see that tier 2 layer tech. And will he go for perhaps the Spire, as my co-caster mentioned, knowing his particular style, or perhaps try to change things up with Infestors? Infestors very powerful, especially coupled with Banelings against Marines.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Infestors are so good. And that Stefano style, that heavy Ling upgrade, Infestor, and then Quick Hive. Like I said, I mean, that's what Suppy preferred for a very long time. We might see him swap that up, though. As you said, I know he's been tending a little bit more toward Muta play as of late, but it looks like there's a push, at least a little mini push, moving out here from our Terran player into the middle of the map. 5 Hellions and some Marine Marauder with that medevac.
Yeah, right now the Marines and the Marauders are taking down the destructible rocks. The rocks do have a lot of armor, though, so really those Hellions aren't dealing very much. Not even the Marines, it's only the Marauders. But the Zergans are going to be able to catch this and now start eating through many of these Hellions, and this is just really bad play. It looks like the Hellions are going to get all trapped, and who will be able to come out ahead? A medevac arrives to the party late, as that exchange not all too helpful for the Terran, and now those destructible rocks may fall, but it may delay this hatchery or perhaps prevent the drones from being transferred for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Crota, I just want to note real quick that people on stream are saying that my volume is super low and no one can hear me, so maybe just tune that up just a tiny bit.
All right, let me go ahead and try to fix that for you right now.
In the meantime, though, I'm watching on the stream. Looks like this is pushing in to that. Of course, the Zerglings are getting this round. I'm not sure how far behind I am. And it looks like Suppy will be able to get his 3rd base up. Don't think it's going to go down.
Right now, the Marines still battling up against. Spine Crawlers look like they may be moving up as the medevacs are being forced to pull back once more. Hopefully the volume is a little bit better, but then now the game sounds sound a little bit loud, and that's surprising because StarCraft is already really low. All right.
Well, yep. Attack at the 3rd, getting cleaned up there. Spine Crawlers moving forward. And, I mean, the aggression, and although our Terran player has the supply lead, I feel like the aggression has abated for a little bit. Suppy has a lot of gas, and I'm just kind of curious as to what he's going to spend that on. I don't know what his tech and his main was. I didn't see that going down. But we'll have to see what he's up to. Nice wall off at the front there with the supply depots from the Terran.
And we'll see really what's going to happen. The Harvester count really telling a different story. 62 compared to 45. A new command center about to be completed. It will lift off and land, and it should be 3 bases versus 3. And this is where the Zerg has to figure out where to establish their fort. The gold mineral patch, very vulnerable to siege tanks on that center Zelnaga tower. Very difficult for Zerglings to try to take that position there. He could try to perhaps take another expansion, as we now see a drop coming into the main base. The drop has only Hellions inside there, and I'm not sure if Blue Flame tech was researched, but the Zerglings are going to be there ready to go and clean up all of these units.
Yeah, I mean, Suppy with a good Overlord placement saw that coming in and reacted appropriately. So some fantastic play out of him so far, minimizing his losses.
And now the Terran player deciding to drop those Hellions, knowing that they drive faster than Medivacs can fly, deciding to retreat back home as the creep tumors look like they could get cleaned up. Suppy trying to do all of his creep spreading. One more shot would have been enough, but unfortunately that creep tumor looks like it will be able to regenerate some hit points and move along its merry way as Zerglings are now funneling across the field. The third base has yet to be established, especially as there is a burrowed Zergling there, and Suppy now also dropping in some creep. So this is going to be quite some time. The Overlord tries to run away, won't be able to do very much. The Orbital Command will get there and not be able to land as Banelings look to try to walk in, but they are remotely detonated with the help of a siege tank.
Yep. I think I saw Suppy burrow some Banelings somewhere on the map. I could be wrong though, but I know he has been trying to work in burrow play into his game lately. I'm not 100% sure where those went down.
Right now, there are Marines and Medivacs currently just sitting off over here. We'll see what they will do. The Mutalisks are upgraded 1-0. Zerglings are going to try to run by, and this is going to be really bad. If the Terran player lifts up with those Medivacs, the Mutalisks are just going to clean them up. And if he doesn't, the Zerglings are going to clean them up. So that is a lose-lose situation. No matter how you look at it, this entire attack force, Medivacs, Marines, and all will be destroyed as Suppy already up to 19 Mutalisks, now 24 with 4 more on the way.
That is a lot of Mutalisks. Yeah, I mean, he, like I said, he's kind of been swapping it up lately and going for the Mutalist style so that he can focus more on counterattacking. And I feel that on Antigua Shipyard, where Terran or Protoss can get up to 3 bases very easily, going for that Muta style is actually much, much stronger.
Yeah, and you can see that the Mutalisks are just able to run straight inside the base, sniping down supply depots, supply blocking our Terran player here. Marines now trying to make their way over. They are upgraded 1-1 with 2-1 upgrades on the way. Missile turrets need to be established, and we'll see what's going to happen as Suppy can just simply retreat. But we see that the Terran player does have a lot of missile turrets all throughout the map, and those Mutalisks are going to not be able to do very much unless we get perhaps an additional 10, and it looks like Suppy should be able to get up to that pretty easily. He is running on 6 gas with 2 more coming in shortly.
Yeah, and Suppy establishing his 4th base. That's going down at the I guess the left-hand position on the map. I think that that's a good place to put it. I would favor knocking down the destructible rocks into that base so that you have a little bit of an easier time running Lings over there if you need to defend. But Suppy actually taking the gold as well, so it's a little bit bold out of him to double expand like that. But I would say he is definitely in the lead. I mean, the supply counts definitely reflect that. I think the upgrades are in his favor as well, with 2 flyer attack about to finish and 2 melee attack going. But let's watch those burrowed Banelings there.
The burrowed Banelings got cleaned up much earlier as the Mutalisks are now trying to fly in, able to take down all of these missile turrets. Simply not enough as there's over 24 Mutalisks here cleaning up SCVs. Marines now trying to make their way in. It looks like the Marines will be able to shoot at some of those Mutalisks. The Mutalisks are finally backing off as the Terran player now perhaps going for a little bit of map control, parking themselves next to a creep tumor, and now we see the missile turrets being reestablished, but no, Suppy not going to allow that, and he knows that as long as he can prevent this 3rd base from truly mining, he has nothing to really worry about, as he already has a double expansion coming in and Banelings rolling across the field. Suppy with a lot of map control in the center.
Yeah, absolutely. And he really needs to hold on to that map control. He has that gold base, or I guess the formerly gold base. The base is formerly known as gold, but he has that base, and if he wants to keep it, he's definitely going to have to control the center of the map. Tanks on the high ground could siege that base quite easily.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen, but as soon as the tank numbers start to go up, we are going to see the Greater Spire now being added, and we are already up to max food, so Suppy at some point can suicide with a lot of his units, and as long as he trades somewhat efficiently, he's going to be okay, as we now see the Terran player sieging up that middle ground, as we mentioned, and this middle ground will fall, but the missile turrets, not quite enough, and now Suppy going to take down the production buildings, taking down many of the barracks, many of the Marines, as they're being trained up, and now there's not much that our Terran player can do besides just try to take out this hatchery over here, but Suppy did double expand, so he does have a hatchery to lose.
Yep, so Suppy in a great position right now. He's still up in the food count. Of course, the middle has been established by our Terran player. He does have the middle. He is going to be able to kill that gold, or formerly gold base off, but he cannot take that base himself on the other side because there is so much creep there.
Yeah, so much creep there, no Ravens, and he doesn't really want to use scanner sweeps, or he's going to try to use those scanner sweeps now to try to clear all of these creep tumors. Will it recede fast enough is the question. As we now see, Marines are upgraded 2-2, but we are going into Corruptors. There is one starport with a reactor, and we'll see whether or not those Broodlords catch our Terran player SeoHyeon off guard.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The Broodlords, you know, he will be able to produce Vikings, but Broodlords are so strong, regardless of that. And Suppy, you know, with that base, the 4th base already up. I mean, does our Terran player even know about that? Can we check his vision?
I think he does not know about that yet, so he is still assuming that it is 3 bases versus 3 bases, but you see a massive number of units, Zerglings and Banelings on the front door, and more Banelings, so Suppy is going to be able to handle all of these Marines pretty easily, and even when he frees up his supply, he can then transition it into mass Broodlords, as the Mutalisks have still been the story of the day. We are going into Adrenal Glands, crackling upgrades underway, level 3 Zerg Flyer attack and level 3 melee. Very similar to Sleep style earlier.
Yep. I mean, absolutely. Going for those attacks on the Zerglings make them so effective. Additionally, that helps out your Broodlings off your Broodlords.
Yeah, you can see now that those Broodlords are simply trying to trade themselves. There are no Vikings nearby, so this trade is going to look very well, just trying to take map control back away from the Terran. This very fortified position. Marines arrive just in time to get melted by Banelings, as the Medivacs unable to heal enough, and now in come the Mutalisks to finish off the Medivacs as well.
So I would say, you know, at this point, this is definitely Suppy's game to lose. And our Terran player is on the back foot. So much damage being dealt.
Yeah, you can now see his Banelings just rolling up, taking down another siege tank there. The command center never had a chance to land. The creep tumors, simply too many, as now he is just pulling back with that command center. Level 3 attack upgrades, both gonna complete in the next minute or so, as 32 more Zerglings being added. The Broodlords just simply flying across the map, pushing the Terran player back onto his only one full base of mining left. And with so many Mutalisks, with only 13 Mutalisks, 3 Broodlords, it's going to be a little bit of time before Suppy re-macros up and then tries to break open this front door.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He did lose some Broodlords in that push. There was a great stim and run forward from our Terran player to take some of those out. The thing that Suppy is really missing from this composition right now is a lot of Infestors. He's got a couple out on the map. He's making more right now, but I feel like they're a little bit late. He kind of rushed, spent gas on Banelings and Mutalisks instead, and of course that is going to delay your Infestor tech or your Broodlords. He decided to go for the Broodlords first instead of getting the Infestors out first, and it definitely paid out for him, able to take that middle position back, but now he's going to have to sit back and wait a little bit.
Yeah, right now in that time that he's waiting, he is just getting up a lot of hatcheries. It looks like he wants to focus on perhaps a lot more Zerglings again, building up 3 hatcheries at a time, 1 macro hatch and 2 more bases, as he's just going to be able to push Terran back once again. Terran trapped in a corner with really nowhere to go, but a drop now comes in, a fungal growth. The 3rd base, another chain fungal growth, and the Zerglings should be able to clean this up here as the Mutalisks now finally arrive to the party, and this drop has been handled. The worker kill count, 39 compared to 18. It is now 50 drones compared to 41 SCVs at the 25-minute mark. So both of these teams are relatively low in terms of their economy.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of low drone counts, and I mean this is I guess a little bit substandard from what you'd expect in this matchup, where Zerg will want 80-90 drones that can continually remax. But look at this, our Terran player establishing the position on the middle of the map again, but I don't think that's going to stand for long.
Yeah, definitely not going to stand for long, as you see the Broodlords and Infestors and all the units just simply roll over the center of the map once again. And I gotta say that Suppy, and there's the GG coming in from SeoHyeon, Suppy, who he had 184 food, and you're thinking, oh, that's you know, average for Zerg at this time. But he only had 50 drones. So yeah, with only 50 drones, that's a huge army.
Yeah, that is actually such a huge army. It is crazy.